And we are live. Welcome, welcome.
Thank you.
Welcome, welcome. Thank you for joining us. My name is Reverend Evelyn, and I am I always struggle with that word author, I guess, author of Sacred Creative Soul Speaks. And today I have a guest, Kyra. And welcome, John. Welcome in. Kyra Faison Gardner is my guest today. And we're going to have a beautiful conversation about um, I don't even remember what our topic is. We're just going to have a free flowing conversation.
Love it. I love it.
So yeah, so I'm going to give people a couple seconds to come on in, and yeah. So you said you're in Morristown, New Jersey.
We are. We are.
Beautiful. So did
Yes.
you get a lot of snow?
We got just over a foot.
Wow.
And that's on top of the snow that that never went away last time. We had some rain, a little bit melted, but there was a nice base base layer.
Mhm.
So that was the kind of the topping on the cake that we didn't want to eat.
Right. Exactly. Exactly. Well, okay. Well, welcome, welcome. All right. So why don't we go ahead and get started? I would love it if you would introduce yourself and tell us a little bit about yourself and about your publication.
Sure. So I'm Kyra Faison Gardner. Um, I guess I would start with it's one of those things where all of a sudden somebody asks you and you're like, everything comes to you. So I would love to start with the fact that I am um, happily married for 37 years, and I love to say it out loud because
Oh,
my husband and I still look at each other and go, are you kidding me?"
I love that. I love
I
that.
can't believe it. So yes, that's what I would put out there first. My husband and I are also business partners for over 23 years now. So that's another like, how are we doing that? We're still not sure. Um, I think one of us is magic. Me. It's me. He's the lucky guy.
Yep.
Um, I'm a mom of three adult children and a grandmom to a 6-year-old angel baby. I love her.
Yes.
Um, so this is a kind of a sweet spot right now for me.
Hmm.
Our family, it's a family-owned business. Two of our children and my son-in-law work with us. So that is it's a joy. It's really a joy and a privilege. And then my heart business, something that I built for myself, founded Prospect and Refuge Life. And it's a coaching and mentoring practice. Um, and I think what you had in the title was Second Becoming. And
Hmm.
that's where that kind of ties in a little bit. The work I do is with women 50 and over who are navigating those threshold moments. And it's not, as you know, because you speak about it as well,
Hmm.
this whole life thing, it's a journey. We are all journeying. We do it in different ways. I think there are unique passages, unique thresholds that women in particular cross, and I act as a guide for those women crossing those thresholds. That's it.
Wonderful, wonderful. So what drew me to one of the things that drew me to your publication is Women at the Edge of the Woods,
Mhm.
because the title of it, because that's what I fancy myself. At some point, my daughter and I sort of joke like, I'm going to have like this little cottage, and it's going to have like a hedge. I'm going to have some chickens, maybe a goat, couple of dogs. And I'm just going to sit out there and I'm going to bake sourdough bread. And I'm going to knit, and it's going to be, like, so when I saw that, I was like, oh yeah, she gets it. She gets it.
Yeah, I'm telling you,
Yeah.
there is this thing that happens to us. It's
Yep.
not, and I like to state it, it is not that we are not appreciative of the life that we have lived up until now. It's not that we do not love our mates and our families and these businesses and all the roles that we've played up to this
Hmm.
point in our life. But I feel like it's not just me living it as I mentor other women, but we get to the point where we slowly begin to wander away from the village. Or we at least begin to look beyond the village that held us, because the village too is changing. Our children are growing up. They're having lives of their own. We get to certain points in our career, or we begin thinking about things that we kind of left along the way that we wonder why. Like, why did I do that? I used to love that. Um, Things begin to get a little bit quieter for us. And in that silence, that's when the thoughts, spirit, guidance begins to come in. And that's why I love the at the edge of the woods metaphor, because we are not in the thick of it yet, but we are curious. And at the edge of the woods, I see it like you. I see it as this place of discovery where we can sit next to each other and we can tell each other stories, and we bake bread and we share wisdom, and we decide whether we'd like to go further into the woods, whether we'd like to sit at the edge for a while and, just be, just be who we are, which is different than who we were. There is no,
Exactly.
right? At the edge of the woods, there's no shame in your changing body, in your confusion, in like, there's no shame there. This is a place of freedom without necessarily going into the deep, throwing it all out, you know?
Yeah. So Rachel said that she's getting feedback. So I'm going to try my headset
Sure.
and see if that gets rid of it, because I can hear it.
Oh, yeah, I don't know where it's coming from. We'll see.
Okay. Hang on 1 second.
Thank you for letting us know, Rachel. We're trying.
Okay. Now I can hear the feedback in my headphones.
Oh, because
Oh,
I'm
but
not,
she says, no problem. Y'all are doing wonderful. Okay.
I'm not
As
hearing.
long as I'm the only one who can hear it. Can you hear me?
We can hear you. We're
Very
not.
good.
I'm not hearing feedback.
Okay. Very good. Okay. Very good. I can hear it, but as long as you guys can't, that's fine. Okay. Wonderful. Wonderful. Okay. Now I'm discombobulated. I had your page up because I was going to ask you a question.
That's all
Your
right.
poetry.
Mm-hmm.
So when did you start writing poetry? Um,
In general.
it's just so, I don't know. I mean, you and I don't know each other.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, aside from liking each other's posts on Substack, right? But I'm just reading your poetry and I'm going, what the heck? Like, I could have written, it's like, I look at it, I go, did I write that? Like, so
Mm. That's such
it's wild.
that is such a compliment, and I
Yeah.
share with you a lot of po- it's poetic writing. Some of it I don't even know that it's poetry. I used to love
Mhm.
poetry as a kid, and all kinds of writing, journaling, reading, writing. A lot of the poetry that I share, probably 95% of it, is actually channeled. So if you are a spiritual person, it would make sense to me that that would resonate with you, that it would feel familiar to you.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah. Mine is also channeled, which is fascinating.
so.
I didn't realize that. I didn't realize that mine was channeled until I was talking to someone. I had a friend who, okay, somebody said, sorry, I left and came back. The feedback is still there. I also tried moving my laptop. And you can't hear it,
I,
Kyra.
I hear every now and then a little reverberation when you speak, but I'm not hearing feedback. Oh, that's so frustrating.
I have my headset on and I can totally hear it.
Um, can you turn off the sound on your laptop?
I did. I'm just gonna turn my laptop off altogether.
Yeah.
And maybe that will stop the feedback.
Yeah, we're having a nice casual conversation. You don't need that.
Yeah,
Oh,
I don't need that. but it helps to, okay, let me just shut down. See if that helps.
Say something.
Okay. And let's see. Is that, it's still doing it. Dang nabbit, it's still doing it.
I don't know why.
So I don't know what else to adjust, Gregory. Hello.
Hi.
Oh, Gregory Bourne. Interesting. We have the same last name, and it's not a very common name, so I'm a little distracted. um,
I
okay, sorry,
don't hear.
sorry, guys.
I don't.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Gregory, can you hear the feedback when I speak? Rachel says that she's hearing feedback. I am also hearing it. Okay. Anyway, let's carry on.
Yeah.
Um, yes. Hey, cuz. um, distracted. Okay, we were talking about poetry. You
hmm
said your poetry is mostly channeled. I had a friend who um he majored in philosophy, but he was a poet. And when he heard my poetry, he was like, I don't want to say he was, he's a purist.
Mm.
Um, but anyway, I just felt a little intimidated because he was like a poet with a capital P.
Oh,
Like he had memorized a bunch of Shakespeare sonnets. Listen, I'm not that kind of poet. I get inspiration and I write that thing. It comes to me almost in whole cloth.
yes. Yes.
I'm taking a workshop, a womanist writing workshop with Rebecca Lynn Pierce, and she gave us an assignment to write a poem about a particular topic. And my, I don't know, subconscious mind just went, okay, got it. And it just came, and I just wrote it down.
I love it. I love it.
So,
People are there when they, were you like that in school? Did things
no,
come? Okay.
nope.
So, yeah, I think mine has gotten stronger in the past 5 years, but I've also deepened into my practice of um, connecting, connecting
Hmm.
to spirit, more ritualizing it. So I make time and room for it. But sometimes I will wake up, the sun is shining, it's coming in the window, it just feels so good. I do a short morning prayer and I'll ask for something for the collective. I will
Hmm.
for something. And those are the ones I usually put them in italics. Um, I can't, I would love to tell people, spirit sent this for you. Like this is divine for you. But I don't. Sometimes I'll
Hmm.
say a message, but I generally put it in italics when I'm sharing something that is channeled, that comes right to me. I'm not even comfortable with all the words yet, like download, but
Hmm.
that's what it is. Those words make sense to me. It comes whole and complete.
Yeah, it is
Uh,
a download.
and it's a gift. I feel like it's a gift. And sometimes I know that it's for someone else and I will post it. And inevitably, I get responses from people. Oh my gosh, this is just what I needed today. I felt like you were talking right to me. Um, so I enjoy it. It's feels good to be able to do it. It makes me feel closer to what I consider divine. Um, right?
Yeah.
I don't think there was a time when it was considered shameful. People were embarrassed. You'd be kicked out of, you'd be kicked out of the church. They may run you out of town into the woods, you know,
Hmm.
but we are slowly, I think, evolving past that time. There's still some stigma in some areas around it,
Yeah.
but I think those of us that are called um, to share it in that way and not necessarily keep it as a private practice, we are finding each other and we're finding places like Substack where there is room held for it.
Yeah. Yeah. So Rachel says, hearing the downloads is a gift from sitting at the edge of the woods.
Oh,
Yes. And she also said something else. What else was, I mean, where did the original poets get their inspiration from? So you may be the true purist. Yeah, exactly. Um,
love that.
Yeah, there are people like my good friend who labor over poems and write them over a period of time. They go back and edit. I mean, I don't do that because I don't consider myself a poet. I just, and so, but I just loved both reading your poems and hearing you recite them. And that theme of falling away,
Mm,
I think that that is what's making space for all of this divine inspiration to come in.
mm.
Do you get what I'm saying?
I do.
Okay.
I
Yeah.
do.
Okay.
That's a great reflection. So
Yeah.
I think the one you're talking about, Let It All Fall Away, um, that was absolutely a download. And it was from that, I did a short series in February, Story Time for the Hungry Soul,
Mm,
the first one on Thanksgiving, with the thought that came to me that I am enjoying this beautiful family, this meal, celebrating this love that I have in my life. And there are people that are maybe having a meal, but they are empty. Their souls, like, are empty. They're longing for a connection. So I actually did the first one on Thanksgiving evening at 8 p.m. I just read a bunch of, poems and downloads, and then it came back to me to do another one. So I did I think a series of 3. But to use your voice in this way, um, that's becoming for me as well. That's a new level of becoming. I'm living the work. I am the work. You are the work. We use tools in the work, but
absolutely.
I'm actually living through the stages that I mentor women through. So I like to share sometimes when I'm trying something new or I'm called to something new or I'm really afraid and I'm doing it poorly, but I'm going to do it anyway because I want to. I wanna learn. I wanna embrace what's messy and be an example. Nothing dangerous, nothing painful. I'm a do no harm person, but I'm okay with people seeing me not get it right. I want especially women over 50 who have really been well behaved for everyone in their lives. I want them to play. I want them to remember, like, creative joy. What does that look like? We don't have to, you know, be totally done to go to the grocery store, right? You get to just relax a little bit into this life, especially at this stage. Serve yourself some of the time.
Mm,
Remember what was good to you, meaningful for you. Remember what taking care of your soul, your life felt like. Remember what being a priority was like. It's like,
you're saying remember, but for some
yeah,
of us, it might be learned
yeah,
because to remember, you must have experienced it before.
yes.
But for me, since childhood, I've been doing, taking care of, taking care of other people, doing everything. Right. So, um, as you were speaking, I was like, remembering, like, can I remember? I can't and then, growing up and having children, taking care of the children, taking care of the husband, all those things. Um, okay. All right. So I'm going to tell you, I just had a little baby download.
Okay.
Um, so I told you before we became on camera that I had trouble so I'm doing a daily morning prayer live on Substack. I switched from my phone to my laptop and I had problems with the audio. So I had to end that live, start a new one. Then this one, we're having audio issues. It's because, hang on, I have to close this window. It's because so the reason I've been doing all these lives and stuff is because I found that even though I was on Substack, I was in a way trying to hide, right? And so I thought, I'm going to just put myself out there more. I'm just going to have I'm an introvert's introvert, right? I'm just like,
Same here.
just give me my knitting, give me a cup of tea. So I'm just like, no, my calling was not to sit on a rocking chair and knit and sip tea, right? My calling is to bring the light and to anchor the light and to
Mhm.
be that guide for people who are on the spiritual liberation path, right? So I thought I am just going to practice by just like having conversations with people and bringing out whatever it is that they have to say, all this, some of the lives that I've done, it's the person's first time doing a live.
Mhm.
And and so these things are happening because I know that they are actually technical difficulties. I get that. But sort of on the next level, it's me pushing against that next level. Like I could turn and say, you know what, this technology thing isn't worth it. I'm not going to do that. Right. So it's a little bit of a personal obstacle for me to overcome. So what do we have here? Oh, that's a big one. Rachel said that was me, Reverend Evelyn. I'm 48 and I came to the realization within the past year that I don't know what a full cup looks like. Wow. So when folks say pour from your overflow, that's definitely a need to learn. Yes, I love that. Yeah. Now, when somebody says give from the overflow, I'm like, but what if your cup's not overflowing? What if your cup needs to be filled to the top?
It's through these types of conversations that
Yeah.
women like Rachel.
Thank you, Rachel.
Yes, thank you so much for sharing that. It get to hear this. This is the edge of the woods. This is where
Yes.
we openly speak about things that are affecting our lives. We give each other permission by showing how to expand, because to me that's what this was with the technical difficulties. Like you said, it would have been easy to just, this isn't working.
Hmm.
And maybe it's actually an invitation to expand beyond what is comfortable, expand beyond what is easy. It's generally, that's what it takes to get to the next level, to grow,
Yes.
to birth something, this new way of being. There's some difficulty there. There's a little bit of struggle, and then you get the appreciation of actually being in the space. So that was a really beautiful reflection from both of you, actually. But
Mhm.
I I just I have to tell you, because I pulled a card for us, and I was trying to
Oh, okay.
before for
I
inspiration.
I foolishly didn't bring any of my decks with me. So yeah, please.
Well, it's beautiful. I don't know if you could see it.
Oh,
Honoring,
okay.
honoring, and it's I am kind and loving, which sounds lovely, but it gets better. Change me, divine beloved, into one who honors my emotions. Let me feel my feelings without judgment, and then release them. Show me how to be kind and loving to the child inside who needs care. So I don't know that there could have been a better card for for our
Perfect.
but that's I think, again, I just want to reiterate, spaces like this, other spaces where women are finding each other. And I am centering women in the conversation. I recognize that men also need these types of spaces, but we cannot do everything for everyone all the time.
Right.
That's part of the reason we are so tired and um, weak and drained. So we can do what we can do. By these
Hmm.
conversations, we invite other women to reflect, if nothing else, to reflect. Nobody has to take action. We all have free will. But like Rachel, maybe that's the time when you think to yourself, you know what? I don't know that feeling. It's an invitation to expand in one way or another. That's how I look at it. That's why I really value an opportunity to have these conversations out in the open, and then we can carry them into if you're in the bagel store in line or the wherever you are, you're now a little more open, right, to being your full self and maybe having a tiny bit of a connection to another human being, another woman that's going through something. You recognize each other.
Yeah. Yeah. That card was also very timely because I was watching a video this morning about um, the inner child and the nerve, like the landscapers. God bless the landscapers. He's going to go by again. Please pardon all of the technical difficulties today.
It's, I'm sorry, it's funny. It's funny. I want
As my
everyone to
grandmother, as
know
my
this is what grace looks like right here. This is
yes,
what grace looks like.
as my grandmother would say, the devil is busy. The devil is busy. Okay, I was watching a video about the doctrine of hell
Mhm.
and how people who are deconstructing from Christianity.
Mm,
For me, the doctrine of hell tormented my childhood, right? So because I learned it so young, my nervous system was sort of molded around that idea. Be a good girl, behave yourself, do what you're told, or
right.
burn in hell, right? So, all right. So deconstruction is both a mental, but it's also a somatic experience, right? So you can deconstruct mentally much more easily than you can physically, especially if you are deconstructing from early indoctrination.
Yes.
So that card about the inner child, I am telling you, I was just having these thoughts this morning. Um, my little grandson is 10 months old, and he was laying in a sunspot in the living room, like when we were playing together. He's just on his back and just kind of like, and I was like, so I was picturing my inner child. Wouldn't be like my 10-month-old self, right? It would have been like I was like 6 or 7 when I really got the nitty gritty of hell.
Mm.
And from then on, I was I lived in abject fear because I attended a Protestant church and then I went to Catholic school. So the Catholics were telling me that I was going to hell because I wasn't a Catholic. And my Sunday school teacher and my minister was telling me that I was going to hell just because I was a wretched sinner. And, a wretched sinner. So, that card was beautiful and just reminded me it's one of those God winks,
Yeah.
right? That, of course, you or your deck would have no way of knowing that I was sort of working through some inner child issues today, right? So I tell people that the power of like Oracle and Tarot is not in the cards, it's in us.
Yeah.
So my spirit was calling for that wisdom when you pulled that card.
Yeah. And
Um,
I asked for
yeah,
a card to offer.
yeah,
I generally when I draw, it's and as an offer, either from my
yeah,
like for myself inspiration for the day, but more than likely for something else. I do that before a meeting. I don't always share that I pulled a card, but I knew that you would be receptive to it.
yeah,
So,
yeah.
so I did the draw. But yeah, I love that we are finding new ways to not only connect with each other, and by we I mean civilization, because we need some new we need some new rules, some new guidelines, but also new ways to connect with um, our devotion to something greater than us. I try to use broader terms because I want if sometimes people have like hangups or fears around certain words, and
Yes,
the word is nothing. The word is meaningless. It's just what we've been taught about the word. So what feels good to you? Spirit, the divine,
yeah,
the universe, divine beloved. There's so many words, but it's more that connection that we all have access to and how we go about um, deepening the connection. Also, I don't I don't have feelings one way or another about like I don't believe there's a right or a wrong way, I guess is more to the point.
hmm
And I want people especially women, because I do think we can lead society. We can rise back into positions of, wise ones and leaders when it comes to this work. Um, I just want to give people permission to trust trust it. If you're getting a feeling, if you a feeling in your body, if you're hearing a whisper, if you're feeling a calling to something, and um, find places and community where you can begin to share the work that you're doing. Places where you're not shamed for being curious, where you're not shamed for talking about it, right? We Nobody wants to be shamed or humiliated. Um, so you have to pay attention. Um, and there are places and there are people that will invite you into the work of you. So,
Yeah. Yeah. Words are symbols of symbols, right? That's from A Course in Miracles. And I belong to a spiritual center, and one of the people there that was dear to me left. They actually stopped coming because we used the word God too much.
oh, okay.
This was a grown man, and I just feel like when I first started writing on Substack, I used to write. So for me, I use the word God. I don't have any hangups. I have zero hangups with that word. However, I actually wrote a couple, I think at least a couple of articles about what do I mean when I say God, right? And because I no longer identify as a Christian, when I say God, it is not the God of the Christian Bible because there's actually several gods in that book,
Mm.
right? There are several gods in the Old Testament. And even if you were to lump them all into one and call it Old Testament God, it's not the same God as the New Testament God. They would not if they ran into each other on the street, they'd be like, they no, they are not the same entity, right? So when I say God, I do not speak of the God of the Bible. I speak of, the ultimate creator of the universe, like, the big whatever, the unnamed, unknowable, that thing. I call it God as a form of shorthand, but internally, that word does not represent for me anything to do with the Bible or Christianity.
Mhm.
Um, and to me, my ability to do that, to be able to separate, I think it's spiritual maturity, because
Yes.
there are people who, oh, don't use that word. That
Right.
that's a polarizing word. Well, it's polarizing if you decide that it's polarizing,
Correct.
right? God, goddess equals divinity that existed prior to, absolutely. It existed prior to Christianity. It has nothing to do with Christianity.
Yeah.
So, yeah. So I just feel like people who take issue with the use of that word have some work to do. No shame, no judgment.
Yeah.
They have, exactly, Rachel says, they have trauma responses. They have trauma responses because if something triggers you to that degree, it's pointing to work that needs to be done.
Agree. Agree. I think the part though that we're the part that we don't talk about as much because it feels dangerous is the fact that people like that, who are suffering like that because they
Hmm.
lose access to some beautiful work. There's whole structures out there that support that fear, that support that separation,
Yeah.
and I think that's the thing that backs up the misinformation. That's that I don't even have the words for how upsetting it is to me, um, how people have politic po politicus po I can't even get the word out.
Yeah.
Politicized, um,
Yes.
faith,
Yeah.
politicized spirituality. So when I say that I'm a mystic, a modern mystic, that's based on the fact that I work to work to cultivate and have a beautiful relationship with the divine. That's
Yeah.
me in a direct relationship.
Hmm.
Mhm. That that's like horrific to some people. Like, who do you think you are to think that you can do that on your own, that you can do that without these structures in place? I think there's beautiful communities, beautiful faith communities out there that are wonderful and welcoming. But I do think that it starts with our relationship, first with ourselves and then with the divine, and then we take that out there. So people that struggle with the words, and how people are um, going about their relationships, that's, maybe we can help just by modeling.
Exactly, exactly. Yeah, I got a comment from somebody who said, um, there is no spiritual liberation outside of Jesus Christ.
Okay. Mm.
And I was like, oh dear. Okay. Um, so I very respectfully, responded, and then I ended up writing a whole post about that, because it's like, if someone says, you know what, my favorite color is pink and I want to wear pink every day all day and that's my thing. I'm just going to be a pink girl, and then somebody comes up to you and says, you know what, pink is of the devil. you know, or just like some way tries to knock down your love of pink. And I'm just like, why can't you just let me love my pink? Right. So, but this person is so indoctrinated that they would, in writing and in a public forum,
Yeah.
try to diminish somebody else's spiritual, I don't want to say beliefs, because it's not a belief.
No.
Um, belief, that person holds beliefs that are not supporting him.
Hmm.
Right? I always talk about how knowing is more important than believing, because you can get people to believe just about anything,
Yes.
because belief requires zero evidence. Like I believed, they told, the big people in my life told me when I was a little girl about hell, which is it. So I don't hold the Bible to be any sort of authority, but the church does. And even according to that authority, the doctrine of hell is fabricated. It's not really based in biblical teaching. It's something that, just like Lent, like we're in Lent right now. You'll find Lent nowhere in the Bible, right? Advent, nowhere in the Bible. These are all inventions of, you know, we have
Humans.
filed it under early church fathers.
Yeah.
They just whipped up these little festivals and observances and all that.
It's I don't know. I mean, your work actually is spiritual work, right? My mentoring, coaching, my guidance, I weave my spirituality into that work, but
Hmm.
it is not the work that I share. I do currently have a client I'm working with as a spiritual mentor. I do like soul alignment mentoring where,
Hmm.
you know, helping people who want to weave more of a relationship into their daily lives. But again, it's the idea of the reason I was excited for this conversation in particular was because I love talking about my journey, my path, what I'm doing. I love sharing the work I do with oracle cards as guidance. Um, I'm very open about that. It's again, it's not the work that I'm doing for other people, but it is the work
Hmm.
for myself. And this is an opportunity to invite people into, I think, more um, just joyful existence, frankly. This isn't spiritual bypassing. It's not,
Hmm.
there's so many ways to look at it, but it really is, to me, a soft invitation just by our conversation, a
Yep.
soft invitation for other people to recognize that they have options, that they are in a constant state of becoming and
Hmm.
they're allowed to dream, to think, to communicate with the divine. We're allowed to do things that we've kind of led ourselves to believe that they're not accessible to us. So it's
Yeah. Folks are scared. They
Yeah.
are scared to write, and they are scared to be wrong, scared to be right. Sorry, and scared to be wrong. It is fear-based. That's why they always have to go and find us and share Jesus. Absolutely. Yeah. Um, the thing about spiritual liberation is that you're forced to stand on your own 2 feet and to not be constantly led by the teachings of this dusty old book,
Mm-hmm.
the interpretations of those teachings by clergy, right? Um, and not everyone is here for that.
Right.
Not everyone is, I don't want to say able because everyone's able to, but not everyone is willing to do like that shadow work, to do like that deep soul searching. Um, in my prayer this morning, I was talking about how um, we there's no out there. Do you know what I'm saying? It's like,
Yeah.
what was his name? Neville Goddard said that everything is me pushed out.
Mm-hmm.
So when there is unrest, when there is violence, when there is hatred, where's that living in me? Right? What I look around and, the other day yesterday or the day before, that unrest that was happening in Jalisco, Mexico. Do you
Yeah.
know, it's like, where in me am I running around with Molotov cocktails setting things on fire? Do you know what I mean? Even metaphorically, right? So it's like, it's an opportunity for us to look within and find those places and forgive ourselves. I mean, all forgiveness is self-forgiveness, right? Um, not to have to lean on these fanciful stories,
Right.
but to just come face to face between yourself and the person and the thing, the creator.
It's
No intermediary required.
that's exactly right. And that's again role based in my mind. Like it's about the roles that we've played and what it means to be a good person, what it means, to be a good member of a group. You don't talk about those things. You don't separate from that group because you want to go deeper into something. Like there's just so many rules and um again, I try to make everything an invitation, and it's almost always a soft invitation.
Hmm.
I leave it not my that's not my business, but here it is. Um, so
I love it.
I really appreciated this forum and the opportunity to talk about something that's important, and fun and joyful, um, and I think meaningful. We're
Yes.
guides. We are both guides. One of the earliest direct messages I got, I was having anxiety about this work because I'm like, oh my God, am I being led to be this spiritual person? What, like, it was stressful. I don't want to do that. Like, why are you calling me to that work? And, you know, the message was literally calm down.
Oh, I lost your
It
audio.
says joy and bliss. Oops.
Oh, there we go. Okay. Okay.
Yeah, every day at
Yeah.
4:44 it says joy and bliss need to breathe, which is my reminder to start winding down the
Oh,
day. But yeah, the message was you are not a teacher. And then I'm like, well, okay, now what do I do? Right away, you are a guide. Like,
yes.
okay. So the pressure's gone, so the
Yep.
pressure's gone. The work is for me. It's my work and I get to share it in the tools that I use in my mentoring coaching and.
I see a guide. I see a guide as that person who hooks their arm in your arm and
Mm,
you're walking together down the path, right? They are not up on a dais, on a stand. I consider myself a guide also because it's so much cleaner, right? I mean, I'm working on a talk for Sunday um, about how we create gurus.
Oh
right?
gosh, yeah.
They couldn't be a guru if we didn't create that dynamic, right? And because of all of the shenanigans that I don't want to bring up, um, we have to now, or I shouldn't say we, I must, and whoever else chooses to, reassess my relationship with other spiritual teachers, right? Because um, it just sets up a very unhealthy dynamic when if you have a guru, if you're holding someone as a guru.
Yeah. But that's, even as we are evolving, we are still working with an old model of elevating certain people, especially certain spiritual, people that we see as very spiritual. So even as you are aware of it, um, there's still that old, you know,
Yes.
reel playing in the back of your head. And of course you would elevate this person. Look at them. Look at the work they're doing in the world. I think most truly deeply spiritual guides will will do what they can to make you aware of the fact that we are walking together. Do you know what I mean? I do. I've met many people who have that way about them. They make themselves accessible. They bring up the fact. They state the words. I do not want you to put me on a pedestal.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, I think one of the best compliments I've ever received in my work was someone calling me a trail angel. And I was like, "Oh my God." But the idea that we're on the trail together. We're both on the
Yep.
trail. I am so glad that I could help you, that I could serve you in some way, that I could, assist you. And by doing that, things got better for you in some way. I think that most guides who are really called to the work, right? No matter what their title is, no matter what their role is out in the world, if they live as a guide, they're aware. They're aware of the privilege, right?
Absolutely. Absolutely. And what is a trail angel but somebody who has walked that path already?
Mm,
That's it. They have walked that path already. They know, oh, wait a minute, there's a drop off over there.
right.
So let me help them scooch them this way. Oh, wait a second. There could be rocks falling from that part of the trail. So let's avoid that. That's all. They are not more exalted. They are not more, life is hard. Life can be very challenging at times. And so we, I think it's a human nature tendency to look to someone who looks like
Love,
they've
right?
got it all together. Maybe they know that thing that I'm missing. You're not missing anything.
Yeah,
None of us is missing anything. And the fact that the only thing, the only challenge is that you think you're missing something,
yeah, yeah,
right? Was it Alice Walker who said the best way to disempower people is to make them believe that they didn't have any power in the first place? You have all the power,
right.
but you're giving it away, you're leaking it out.
Mm-hmm.
And a guy just comes along and says, here, dust off your pants. Come on, I know which way. I know you shouldn't go that way because of that hazard, but if you follow me, I can show you this way.
Mm-hmm.
That's it.
Yeah. And that's again why what you just said is what so many people need to hear. So many people need to hear. And then once they hear it, have a safe place to begin the journey, right?
Yep,
Find a place where they can now get on the trail. And
yep,
and that's it could be a supportive friend, it could be a spouse, it could be a community, it could be a podcast. But that's the work in the beginning. The work in the
yep.
beginning is first to recognize that you are now ready for this journey. You're it's not discontent, but you're incomplete. There's this slight agitation that begins setting in. And then you begin looking around. And some people find the trail, and other people find shopping. They find infidelity. They find substance abuse. They find
Hmm.
other things.
Yep.
And um, the company you keep. It's really important if you know that you would like to, hmm, come into this time in your life, because I mean, we probably don't have very many, 19-year-olds on the call that will be listening, although you may have, I don't. I generally have.
Yeah, I don't. I tend to not.
So, especially at this time in our life, we have lived. We've seen some stuff. We've done some things. Now it's time to make ourselves the work. And that
Yeah,
can be fun and joyful and vibrant. It's one of the most creative, eras in my life right now.
yeah,
I'm
absolutely.
remembering all these things. I'm finding new hobbies. It's beautiful. And I just appreciate again you opening this conversation up, and I'm looking forward to carrying on.
Yeah. And when I get back to New Jersey, we will definitely have to go have some tea and
Yes,
have
ma'am.
a conversation IRL.
What a gift. What a gift.
Oh, hey Netta. Hey, Netta Faye is here. Yeah, this was a beautiful conversation. I hope that this audio thing is not going to come out in the recording. That is my sincere prayer. Both fingers crossed, toes crossed. But thank you so much for being here. I'm so glad we had this conversation because I have known, that we have so much in common. I had no idea we had this much in common. So,
Yeah, it's beautiful.
yay!
Beautiful thing. I'm looking forward to it. Be well. Thank you again. And thank
Yeah.
you everyone for joining us.
Yeah. Thank you, everybody, for popping in and joining. Thank you, Rachel, for all of your wisdom. And yeah, so I will be back again tomorrow. Today's Tuesday. Yes, tomorrow. I'll be back tomorrow for Wisdom Wednesday. So, anyway, thanks, everyone, and have a beautiful rest of your day.